Can you dig it?
We're a little bit late, but we're still here. It's Wildcard Wednesday, and we're still here.
It's wild. It's wild and crazy.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. Sorry we're a little bit late for the live stream tonight. We just got done doing our live stream with Mike and On The Go Chicago Sports. Mike, thanks for having us on. That was a good time. We're gonna have you on again real soon here for one of these Wildcard Wednesdays. But
that's right, buddy.
Look, we're trying to talk about everything, but Bears has been kind of heavy lately, right? Obviously, training camp is about to start tomorrow, but it seems like there's been a lot of Bears news lately, and we covered it in a video on Monday, but and yesterday also. But just a lot going on with the Bears.
A ton, man.
Right?
It was exciting though. I mean, like we talked with Mike a while ago. I love that Robert Quinn has showed up. That was exciting.
Yeah.
It was disappointing to hear Roquan Smith's going to be on the PUP list, and hopefully,
but at least he's there.
Soon.
He's there.
Yep, I agree.
Right.
So those two things were big news. Quinn's attitude was awesome.
Yeah,
it was really good. N'Keal Harry's attitude was exciting to hear about how he wants to prove everybody wrong. Now the old line, from what I read, the old line was looking as very similar to last year in terms of who's playing where. And according to polls and Eberflus, or one of those two, we were going to find out a little bit more about who's going to play on the offensive line this year.
Yeah, look, I think the biggest thing is Poles has kind of made it clear, right? Like he wants guys to have that chip on their shoulder, right? They want to have guys that are competing. Jeffrey, what's up, man? Sorry we're a little bit late, but thanks for tuning in. We appreciate you.
Chip on your shoulder.
He wants guys that are chips on their shoulders, like N'Keal Harry said, right? Like he's got a chip on his shoulder. He wants to come out there and he wants to prove what kind of receiver he really is, right? So I think that's the kind of players that he's kind of put on this team. And we were just talking about this on the other live stream we were just on with Mike, right? If I'm one of these Bears players and I'm hearing all of these guys on ESPN and Fox talking about, and NFL Network talking about how the roster sucks, right? They didn't put anyone on this team to help Justin Fields or anything like that, right? Don't worry, man. We were here. We're on another live stream, but thanks for tuning in. We do appreciate it. So, look, I think these guys should be pissed off. These guys should want to come in and want to prove to the rest of the league, hey, we're good. We're going to be good. Right?
Yeah, you got quite a few players who have something to prove. Even Byron Pringle, who I'm hot on.
Yes, you are. You have the hots for Byron Pringle. Yes.
Every single year of his career, he has gotten better, man.
Mike, no worries, man. We're glad to help you hanging out with us. It's all good, Mike. Don't worry about it.
Not a big deal at all, man.
All good.
Yeah, so I'm looking forward to even Velus Jones. He is an older guy, right? 25 years old. Right. He's probably heard some of the same stuff on the news about him being too old too. So he's got something to prove. You got a whole offensive line, hopefully, who's going to bring it. They've been hearing it all year how horrible their offensive line is. So there's a lot of good motivation there.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about it today. Like, you've got three starters pretty much penciled in, right? Patrick, and then the two guys they just signed, right? Reef and
Schofield.
So those three guys, I think, would be pretty much five starters.
Is that a name of a gun, by the way?
Schofield?
It's not. It just sounds familiar to me, man.
You come up with the most random comments.
That is how I live, man.
I think you take something before you come on whenever we do a video.
I do not.
You take something on, like you start hallucinating. Like,
I am hungry most of the time when we're here. So.
I'm starving right now, by the way. Like, I'm dying for cheeseburger right now. From Sox Park, not Cubs Park, but not from Wrigley, but from.
No, it would not be from Wrigley either, man.
So,
but if I'm getting a cheeseburger anywhere in Chicago, I'm getting one from Portillo's. Love Portillo's here.
Did you ever have a cheeseburger from Billy Goat?
Yes.
Cheeseburger.
It was good, man.
You did?
Yeah.
What do you
I only
normally get
went
on a
there-
cheeseburger?
I only went there once.
What do you normally get on a cheeseburger?
Tomato, lettuce. They got some kind of jalapenos, some kind of sauce.
Are you a ketchup on a hot dog kind of guy?
We've talked about this before. Heck yes.
Okay. I don't watch
Prison
Prison.
Break
I've never
kicker,
seen. I've
Michael
never seen
Scofield.
Prison Break.
There is some kind of Schofield gun book. That's what I looked it up. I don't know.
Oh.
I think that my dad had that.
Have you watched
book.
Prison Break before?
Nope.
I heard it was a good show, but I never saw it.
I don't know. We should look it up, man. Yeah, Portillo's, man.
Yeah, Mike. Yeah.
With the
Gotta go with the
Italian
jumbo.
beef.
You got to go with the jumbo dog at
Italian beef with
Portillo's.
sweet peppers.
Either the jumbo dog
Jump.
or the Maxwell
no.
Street Polish. Those are the ones you
No,
got to
no.
go with at Portillo's.
There's a great hot dog place here in BG. Wiener takes all, man.
This is the beauty of Wildcard Wednesday. We talk about anything on Wednesday night,
Yeah,
including
I'm
food.
freaking
So
hungry, dude.
this is the beauty of this. So,
So what the heck with the socks?
oh,
Hey, they got
don't
over
even-
the 500. They got over the 500 hump, man.
Leori Garcia has to be
I
DFA
know, right?
today.
He's the most versatile.
Anyone that saw the White Sox game today, I could not believe that play that happened in like the 5th inning.
I'll try and find it, man.
Who gets thrown out at third base on a walk to load the bases? Leori Garcia does.
Dude, that was so stupid.
And Cole, if you're watching, Cole was texting me today. Our good friend Cole.
He doesn't watch us.
He was texting me today. He's all pissed off because he thinks that LaRussa blew the game. LaRussa didn't do a good job of putting together a lineup, but we had no one. Our bullpen was not available today. We just had no one. Liam Hendricks had a problem with the altitude through like almost 30 pitches last night. He was unavailable today. Joe Kelly got hurt again today. We have a couple other pitchers that are out from, not just bad backs or whatever the case is. And Kendall Graven was the last man standing. And unfortunately, he just did not have a good 9th inning. Andrew, thanks for checking in, man.
How bad are they going to suck, Andrew? Tell us.
What do you think their record is going to be?
What is your prediction that they're going to suck this bad? They're going to be worse than last year? They're going to be worse than 6-11?
Yeah, Jeffrey, I think you chimed in on
Put
this
it down,
I'm not
man.
sure if you did. Mikey, you told us you're thinking like 9-8. So I know a couple people have said what they think they're going to be. I'll put a link in the description below. We did a video on their whole schedule like about a month ago. I think they're going 9-8.
And I'm on the border. 8-9.
6-11.
They're not going to be as bad as last year.
Nope. Yeah, and they play the worst schedule in the league.
Yeah. It's a possibility that they could go that, I guess, but I'm looking at 8-9.
Yeah.
And if Fields progresses and the receivers are any bit better than they were last year, and our defense is better. Our defense is clearly better this year on paper, right?
I think they are.
I think they are too. So I can't see 6-11, man. The offensive line is just a little bit better than last year. And Fields is going to progress. They're going to have a better coach. I am going to share Larry Garcia's play here, just if anyone missed it.
Oh,
I don't know how
I don't want to relive this.
I love the Sox on 35th because Larry Garcia.
That's exactly right. What are we doing?
What are we doing? All right, here. You don't see it much, but they had man on second and third, right?
First and third, 2 outs.
It looks like it's second and third.
The count is full.
Okay. All right.
3-1. The count's 3-1.
Yep, it's a 3-1 count.
Yeah. So he walks.
And they picked him off out at third.
And they picked him off at third base.
And they picked him off.
That's horrible.
He was so far off of third base. I have no and then AJ Pollock was coming up the next. Later in the game, in the I think 7th inning, he came up again with the bases loaded and he hit a single. Drove into at the time was 2 go-ahead runs. So he totally ran us out of an inning. So
I want to respond to that.
Okay, go ahead.
How could you say it's not better? I mean, the only guy that they lost really is Peters. They've got a healthier line. They've got Tevin Jenkins that's healthy. They just picked up two not awesome offensive line, but more experienced offensive linemen.
And one lineman that just played in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, and they picked up a lot of their receivers and tight ends are good blockers. They're not weak. And you also have Montgomery and Herbert who are decent blockers too in passing play. So I think it's definitely better. Is it great? No.
No. And we have someone that actually, at least I think, actually knows how to draw up an offense, unlike that crap that we had to play with last year, right? Yeah, Jeffrey, totally agree. Unexcusable. I'm still pissed off about the game because Minnesota lost today and we could have gained a game on Minnesota today.
What are they at today? I didn't look at I don't know what the standings are today.
There's still 3 out. They could have been 2 out, but there's still 3. I didn't see what Cleveland's doing tonight. Let me check and see what Cleveland's doing tonight.
That stinks, man. I don't know if you saw Cubs fans, if you're a Cubs fan at all. Was it yesterday? Oh, yeah, Wilson Contreras and Ian Happ were hugging in the dugout because they think it's going to be their last game.
Last home game.
That's what I meant. Yep.
Yeah. I got kind of emotional watching that.
You did?
Yeah.
Here, I'm gonna post that. I'm gonna show this too, dude.
Can you post a video that's gonna give us a copyright strike? Also, can you make sure that you post something that's YouTube's gonna?
It is what it is, man.
I'd appreciate that.
All right, here we go. This was by Taylor McGregor. Look at the two hugging it out. Contreras does not want to let go, man.
That kind of looks like when you and I hug.
No, we don't touch each other. Yeah, that is clear.
Katie, if you're watching.
I don't think she's watching, man.
So, I know Jan's not watching, so.
Yeah.
But Katie, if you're watching.
I will be so pissed off as a Cubs fan if they trade the two of them, but it sounds like there's
Do you think they're both going to go to San Diego?
No, now I'm hearing rumors about Contreras going to the Mets, that they're working out a deal with New York.
Didn't they do a trade with New York last year?
Yeah, with Javi.
New York still got stuff to give you guys?
Apparently, man.
Wow. And where do you think Contreras is going to go?
The hottest team in baseball. The Cubs are hot right now, man. They got the best second half record.
With Contreras and with Happ.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. It's true, right?
What?
They got the best team record in the second half with Contreras and with Happ.
Yeah, why do you have to say it like that?
Why can't I?
I don't know. I don't want to get rid of them. It makes no sense.
I don't think you should I don't think you should. I think those be guys you should be building around.
Yeah, for prospects, you're going to get prospects that you're not even sure are going to pan out. You got two guys that are quality baseball players, and you just get rid of them because
but look, why? I texted this to you the other day.
Ricketts is cheap.
Where are the Cubs in Major League attendance right now?
Second,
right?
And they were in the bottom what? Bottom
in
10?
Salary.
Bottom
spending
10,
and salary.
Somewhere
and it's going to go down even. It's going to go down even further when they trade Contreras and Happ.
Yeah.
So the next home game, it'll be full.
Because it's still fun to go to, man. It's still something to do. You just don't not go like the Sox fans. What's the Sox attendance record, man?
It's definitely not anywhere near the Cubs.
Yeah. Fair weather fans.
No, we just.
How about that? How about fair weather fans?
We just know how to tell the owner
our
displeasure. Don't spend our money.
Oh God! Does it change Reinsdorf's?
No, it doesn't.
No. So what's the point? You're hurting yourself to try and get it back at the man. The man.
So what do you think about this? What Jeffrey put out there?
I heard about that.
And
and that's sad. That's pathetic.
So if that's
I mean,
true,
I don't. I
true,
mean,
why would he want to come back? Or is he just saying
well,
that as lip
well,
service for the fans?
well. Honestly, I don't think he said that. I don't think Willie came out and said that. Uh, even if like, how many players get their contracts negotiated in the middle? It's usually towards the end, unless you're like, unless they actually have enough money to be able to sign you a little bit earlier. But most people don't get signed in the middle of a contract. It's towards the end. So why would they reach out to him, except for this year? They should have this past year been working on something, right? How many people
in the
get
season for sure? At
yeah,
least
within the last year?
At least pick up the phone and say, "Hey, look, we'd like to, what
Say we love you.
We'd like to at least sit down and talk with you."
Love. You could say it. Say the words.
Love.
Good job. Good job. I know you have a hard time with that, with your emotions. So we love you, Willie. We love you.
So let's see where he goes.
Yeah.
It'll be
hey, on a different note, I posted something on Twitter the other day about the wave.
Okay.
All right. So, are you a fan of the wave? Do you like doing the wave? Does that excite you?
As long as it's not taking place at Guaranteed Rate Field.
All right.
How's that
So
answer?
I like it because I can't stand the wave. I think it's stupid. But so people were trying to do the wave in the left field bleachers, and this guy, Bleacher Jeff, big grizzly dude. He puts out his shirt, and another guy goes, and it's from Obvious Shirts, and it just says no wave at Wrigley. I loved it. And people literally stopped doing the wave from like 3 people. And I got up and I'm like, no wave, no wave. That's power for you, man.
Well,
it's kind of like parting the Red Sea.
It just shows me that you're not in a game anyway. Like either your team's getting crushed or you're crushing the other team when the wave happens.
You see what Jeffrey says? I'm swimming. I'm parting the Red Sea too.
I'm looking something. What did Jeffrey say?
Jeffrey said, "Hell no, no wave."
No, totally agree. As long as it doesn't happen to my. It doesn't happen to my park. I'm trying to look up a Twitter comment that I saw there. I want to get your thought on this.
I'll give you another question that I posted on Twitter that was pretty popular. Okay, so we all like grew up probably playing some kind of wiffle ball or lob league in the park, something like that. Maybe pinners, running bases, and we pretended to be an athlete. So, like, what athlete do you remember pretending to be when you hit the ball? Practice. Do you remember? Or was it like a ton of different players? Who did you try to emulate, man?
Early on, I tried to emulate Pete Rose.
Pete Rose?
Yeah.
Were you a lefty hitter?
No, I'm one of those freakish players. I throw left-handed, but I bat right.
Huh. So did your parents switch you in turn? Like, because I started writing left, and my dad said and my mom argued, and I ended up being a righty. But I tried to switch hit.
That explains a lot, actually.
Yeah. Do you know stuff about people trying to switch from lefty to righties?
How messed up you are, but that's okay. Go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
So Pete Rose kind of hunched over stance, right?
Yeah, like the crouch.
Yeah. There's a lot. So there was popular players. Cecil Cooper.
Yep.
He crouched too, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Rod Carew for sure.
Yeah.
And Rod Carew had this cool little kind of twirl thing with his hands.
Yep.
Who else is there? There was some really. Gary Sheffield was a popular one.
Yeah. The other guy I think I tried to emulate was Tony Gwynn.
Ah, that poor guy.
Tony Gwynn had a great batting stance.
Hey, on another note for the Sox, were you happy with when Hero Baines got mentioned to the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Because I was listening to the score, and one of the reporters were thinking when Harold Baines got elected to the Hall of Fame, he was saying that the requirements to get in the Hall of Fame were lessened by Harold Baines getting in there and other players getting in there. And now, 10 years later, I don't know if that's accurate. Now he's seeing that, hey, does it really matter if you put more people into the Hall of Fame? There's a lot of deserving players. But how is your feeling on, the Hall of Fame? Minnie Minoso just got elected to it. He's dead.
Well, look, anyone that's as old as I am and got to watch Harold Baines play. Harold Baines was my favorite player growing up, right? As a White Sox player, he was my favorite player growing up. And he, before, in my opinion anyway, before Ken Griffey Jr., who I think has the sweetest, most smoothest swing next to Tony
pretty
Gwynn,
nice, man.
right? But as far as a left-handed batter, right, I thought Harold Baines' swing was like literally perfect. And he was a pretty good hitter in his day, just because the teams he played on was terrible. So, he didn't necessarily have the greatest, success because of the guys he was playing with, but he had a long career. He played well here. He played well in Baltimore.
Look at
he played
that.
well in Oakland, right? So part of me says that part of it, some of this has to do with longevity.
Yes.
Right. And how long you played the game.
I agree.
Right?
That's impressive.
And be that consistent. I mean, look at how many games he played over the course of his career. I mean, look at 161. He played 161 one year, 160 another year, 145, 147.
I know, right? And he's a 6-time All-Star. He played till he's 42.
Yeah, and then you scroll up a little bit, that 1983 year when we won the division under La Russa, right? I mean, that year he played 156 games that year.
I know. 20
right?
home runs.
What did he hit that year? 280, right?
280. Yep.
264 total bases.
Yeah, and he was a solid defensive player.
Almost 100 RBIs that year too.
And he got votes in 82, 83, 84, and 85 for MVP.
Yeah, one of the things I think also to kind of what Jeffrey's saying here, right, is that look, it's hard to compare era against era, right? It's really true in basketball. It's super true in basketball, right? But
I don't agree with that.
You can't compare. You think you can't compare era to era?
I hated what Draymond Green said the other day, man. That is not true.
That they would have beat the Bulls
by 40.
Yeah,
he's insane.
Yeah.
The Bulls were talented enough to change their game to be able to beat anybody, and I'm sticking to it in any era so far.
Here's my biggest argument.
Defense was solid enough.
Look, my biggest argument for the Bulls, right, and Michael Jordan is, look how many players Michael Jordan was on the original Dream Team. None of those players, none of them, beat Jordan for a championship. They all played against them, right? But none of those guys. Ewing didn't beat him, right? Stockton tried twice. Malone tried twice. Magic tried.
Barkley, Hayden,
right?
Yeah.
The only guy that can on that list that can say that they beat Jordan honestly was Bird, because those were the teams. These on those Celtics teams when Jordan was younger and a rookie.
Yeah, he was too young then, man.
Right, but all those other players that were on that team, Drexler didn't beat him. Yeah. Barkley didn't beat him. He beat every single one of those guys.
So, hey, yeah, and I totally agree with you. It's shocking.
So, but yeah, anyway,
we should hug it out.
Back to the question about Baines. I think he's deserving.
Okay, what about Minnie Minoso? I think it's a good question. I think there should be some kind. I mean, Minnie Minoso was an outstanding player for the Sox and had longevity too, and then he doesn't get to see that recognition. They should be able to handle these things better than they're doing.
The one thing I hate about the Baseball Hall of Fame is that you get to try for X number of years and then you're not on the ballot anymore. That's so stupid. They're saying if you're really true Hall of Fame, you should get in on the first ballot. Well, Minnie Minoso should have gotten in earlier, right? But after like what is it? After like 10 or 15 years on the actual ballot, then you got to be voted in by the Veterans Committee. That's so stupid. If you're a Hall of Famer, you're a Hall of Famer.
Yeah, I agree. Now, there is somebody that who else got in Hall of Fame here? Who else got in the Hall of Fame just a little while ago?
I didn't pay much attention to Hall of Fame this year.
All right, here I'm gonna look. Oh, David Ortiz.
Huh?
All right, so here, one of the comments from Jeff. Yeah, the steroids.
Mike, I'm gonna get to your question in a second, Mike.
Yeah, I like it too. David Ortiz was one of the guys that was named in one of the reports for steroids, just like Sosa. And David Ortiz got into the Hall of Fame. Barry Bonds, quite honestly, was an amazing baseball player before he puffed up. That guy was going to get in the Hall of Fame regardless. So, like, some of these things, I mean, we punish some of these guys. Even Pete Rose, I still don't understand the gambling thing and not throwing him in. I don't know what other people feel, how they feel about that, but I think enough's enough. Some of these guys are going to be good players.
The difference with those guys is that David Ortiz was liked. David Ortiz was a nice guy to basically everybody, right? He didn't do anything to rock the boat.
That is what I heard.
Yeah, he didn't rock the boat. Barry Bonds was a jerk.
Sammy Sosa didn't rock the boat.
No,
he played music in the clubhouse.
He didn't, but look, but look, that's part of it, right? But in the second, like
playing music in the clubhouse.
The second that like he wasn't producing anymore, right? He kind of secluded himself.
In here to annoy you. I'll play some Madonna. I think
you do that all
might
the time.
Irritate you.
Let's get to Mikey's question.
Let's do it. I want to play Material Girl and dance in the background here.
You do that every night off camera, so I don't know what the big deal is. Which Chicago team wins the next championship? Forgot to ask that. The correct answer is the Chicago Sky. But if you're talking about Bears, Bulls, Cubs, Sox,
that's what I'm doing.
Who are you going with?
I want to say the Bulls.
I'll go with the Sox. I will go with the Sox.
I'm gonna have wishful thinking that the Bulls have a healthy roster. They're gonna be in the top 4 and they're gonna be very competitive. Make the conference finals.
That's not the question.
I know, with a strong chance of winning a championship. So, yes.
Right.
I like ifs and buts. If, ands, or buts.
Mike, what do you think?
Yes.
That's a great question. Anyone else wants to chime in on this question?
I thought the Sox in the beginning of the year. I have extreme doubts on that now.
Yeah.
I cheered for every one of Sosa's home runs as well, man. Hey, there were a lot of cheaters there were a lot of cheaters in Major League Baseball throughout the years. You even talk about Mike Schmidt, Pete Rose. They were popping pills to be more alert, and they had to put some restrictions on that. People have been cheating for years, so like they take performing hands. You got Bulls, yeah. Is it this year or the next year, Mikey?
This year's going to be tough.
It is going to be tough with the
East is loaded.
Yeah, it's going to be fun, man.
It's
going to be fun, dude. If the Bulls are rocking like they did in the first half, 5 slamma jamma, it's going to be rocking in that stadium, man. Wasn't it great? It's great to see those guys flying around, Caruso dunking with his left hand, going like this, hanging on the rim. DJ going like this. Lonzo out like this with the 3-pointer, man. That was one of my favorite moments this year when Lonzo hits a 3-pointer against the Knicks, and he's like, "Am I right?
Don't ever do that again."
Am I right? Am I right? Am I right?
No, I think the best one was when DJJ junked in Denver. Took off from the free throw line.
Yeah, that was pretty sweet too.
That was a big time.
Oh, and P-Dubs. P-Dubs dunk on God, who was that guy? Was it Utah?
On Gobert?
No, it wasn't on Gobert.
Bogdanovich. Someone help Vic out because I have no idea what the hell I was talking about.
Oh,
See? Yeah,
it was
Mikey.
It was
Yeah.
Raptors, man.
Thanks, Mike.
Hey, I'm
Mike's
more
always got my
entertaining.
back.
I'm more entertaining than Carl. Carl just looks at me funny.
I look at you funny all the time.
Now I can't hear you.
Yeah, you confuse that for something else. Sorry, I thought that was funny. I'm sure the audience thought that was funny too.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Right, of course not. So
I know, right?
yeah. So
it's getting hard to hear you, buddy.
No, it's not. Everyone else can hear me just fine.
Now it's good.
Everyone else can hear me just fine.
If you go back about 20 more feet, it'll be much better.
Do you want me to just go ahead and step off camera and just leave you alone for a while with
my Madonna
Your Madonna music?
Yeah.
So listen, everyone, thanks for tuning in for Wildcard Wednesday. We do appreciate it. Thanks for everyone for tuning in tonight. Sorry we're on a little bit late. Jeffrey, thanks for keeping us honest. Mikey, thanks for tuning in. There was one other person I saw that was on here. Andrew, thanks for the comments about the Bears. If you have any chance yet, hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell, get notified on future episodes. Are you playing Madonna or are you not? Are you playing outro music?
I don't have Madonna on here, punk.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you guys next week for Wildcard Wednesday. Peace,
love,
and digits.